welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So today I'm bringing you another sneak peek from the new release of the little books, which is launching on Hobbymaker on the 30th of January. And I do have to make you aware, these were sent to me, these goodies were sent to me as part of the design team. So I've been tasked with making a couple of cards for them. So I'm just going to give you a quick flip through the book, and then we can move on to the couple of cards I've made. Or I've done a lot of work beforehand, but hopefully they'll turn out okay. So we've got this cute little horse here, so perfect for any horse lovers. Cactus. Sounds like a weird thing, but my nephew used to have a girlfriend who was mad about cactuses. And then you've got your sort of more masculine ones. Obviously you get 6 of each. You may not find 6 of each in here because I've been preparing. You've got your little cowboy and your cowgirl. You've got them again with their little teepee or wigwam. Same thing, I think, more or less. Then you've got your guitar, so anyone who loves your country music sort of thing. Then you've got your sort of your little prospector there with his gold. He's going to be in the money, that's for sure. He's got a nice chunk there. I mean, that could just be a wedding card. I think that's lovely. And then you've got your little couple. Well, I think the 2 lads actually. And these would be nice if you had your little star die and do those in foil. You know, your sort of mini card. Some boots. So yeah, it could be for anybody. Oops. I'm wrecking the book. I love this one as well. I was really tempted to do a card with this. In fact, I did start preparing one, then changed my mind, which is why they're all falling loose. And then you got this one. This is so cute. I love that one. I mean, they're all cute, but there are some that are just extra cute. So you've got your lovely little girl with her guitar. And then she's got her little pony. Look at his little boots on him. His little sheriff pony. And got your boy with his lasso. Ready to go rodeoing, if that's a thing, if that's a word. Then you've got your little cow with his cowbell, or her cowbell. Anything in there yet? So you've got your ladies on the hay wagon, or it could be any wagon really. You've got your little girl with her lasso, your boy with his lasso, your little boy with his guitar. So these are great for like teenagers who like their music, even if it's not country and western. So that is the pad. Okay, so let's pop that to the side. Pop that behind me, and I'm going to bring in what I've been preparing. So I've used silver mirror foil on this one. Again, I've used those new adorable Scorable frames. I'll just bring some of them in. I have been using some, but they're all in the new colours. You've got your oval and you've got your sort of your cut-in ones. I can't remember the word for it now. I did know it last time I did the video. So you know, you've got all those colours, gold and silver. Those are also new and launching. The other thing you're going to see in this video, which is launching, not used on this card, are these new essential vertical sentiments. So you've got happy birthday, anniversary, thank you, love, with wishes of congratulations, thinking best. And obviously you can combine those. I've used happy birthday on the second card, which is why it's not on there at the moment. So I picked out the young lady with her lasso, and I've sort of cut away some of the horse's legs, so the back legs. I've cut away his tail, I've cut away her ponytail, and I've just cut her finger over the top of that rope to make it easier and not have to cut that rope out. And then the next layer, if I put that back on, what I've done is I've cut away the horse, I've kept the saddle in, I've cut away her hand, and I've cut away the top of the hat. So that's the decoupage that we're going to do on there. And what I've done is I have taken one of those oval frames and I've cut it in half, and that's going to be the basis of my card. So to start with, let's not bother with layers yet. Let's take those layers out of it because that is going to be confusing, and I need to do a little bit of scoring. So I've cut a piece out of the A4 Ink Me cardstock, and I've cut this to 8x6, and then I cut another piece of 8x6, and because the straight edge oval dies from Hunkydory matches almost perfectly, and there's just a tiny little bit of a discrepancy on one side, I think it was, and I think it's the second one down, and I cut that from my my cardstock. And the way I worked it out was I got my frame that I'd cut in half and I put it on. So before I'd cut it in half, even what I did was put that on. I just put a pencil line round, and then I put my die on because we're going to be looking through into our card. And I've cut this slightly bigger than 8x6. I've cut it to 8.5x6 because I'm going to use some tabs to attach those together. So let's bring in my scoreboard. And I'm going to use the side I've got the pencil line on. It's easier than trying to rub it out afterwards. And I'm just going to take that down that 1/4 inch. So that's going to be my little tab to join my card together. It's not so bad on the other side, but I'll do the same on here. Again, 1/4 inch. And I did try, because you know how I like to do things the difficult way first of all. I did try cutting a piece of 8x6 cardstock, no, so 8x16 I think it was, or 6x. I tried doing it with the card piece in one, and it was extremely difficult because when it's actually I'll show you the piece I did. I think it's here still, maybe. No, it's not. It's disappeared. What have I done with it? I've moved it. Anyway, when it is one piece, what you have to do is cut one side with the die and then to cut the other side, and it is really hard to get those to match up. So my advice would be to do it out of 2 pieces of cardstock. Just the easiest way to make this card. Okay, so I'm going to use some red liner tape, and if you wanted to make this tab a little bit bigger, you know, maybe go, instead of 8.5, go 9x6, and then you're just going to have that 1/2 inch tab. Oh, it's been a little bit tight with my cardstock, to be honest with you. So let's just pop some red liner tape on. And I am going to bring in some construction glue. Let's just put that a little bit of a burnish down. Pop that off. I'm just going to put a fine bead of that, oops, down that edge. And then the way I attach these is just to put that up to my card. And usually you can just feel when you're there, because it sort of stops, the card stops moving. And then we can pop that over and down. And then I'm just going to turn that around, just making sure I have got, just making sure I have the same colour cardstock, because every card that I use is slightly different colour on one side to the other, so just slightly more matte or more shiny on the other. But so I was just checking that I had got those the right way. I think the way I've put this on, that pencil line is going to be on the inside, so I will have to get that moved, but that's fine. That's no big deal. Okay, let's pick this up and pop it down and down. Just because I've done that such a narrow border, you could see it was a little bit harder to do for me, but we got there, we got there. So this is the card itself. So it's kind of like a gatefold basically, isn't it, but with cutaway. Okay, so now the next layer I have done is for the inside. So obviously I want to hide all of these workings. So this one is 8x6 minus 2 notches on 2 of the sides, and then this one is 7 3/4 by 5 3/4. So let's go ahead and get those puffed in. Come on. There we go. There we go. I'll slide up that side and then that glue will stay in the nozzle. And then I'm just going to float this into position, like so. And again, my construction glue, and then we can float this in. And this paper is from the I think it's Pastel Plaids and Cheerful Checks. I'll just check for you in a second. Oh, sorry, creaky chair. Oh, I buried it. Yeah, Pastel Plaids and Cheerful Checks. So it's still on the website if you are interested in getting hold of that. Okay, so after this, these next layers got a little bit more trickier. So that's for that piece there. So I'll just talk you through it. So what I did was cut my silver mirror to fit. So this is now 4 by 6. So I took 2 notches off that. Okay, and then I took this down to 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then what I did when it was whole, I then came across with where this is going to go. So I wanted it in the middle, obviously. And then I just used the pencil and sort of marked where that will be. And because I used the pencil, it went through to the mirror level as well. And then I just cut those around roughly. So they're going to be hidden. So you could even come around and sort of do that on your trimmer if you wanted to. But I just did it that way because it was the easiest way to me when I was assembling. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop these on. So I obviously did that for both sides. Come in, and this again, that pink was from that Pastel Plaids and Cheerful Check. And then just move you out of the way, and then I'm just going to put that on the same way I put my normal ones on, just leaving my normal border around those sides. And it does look rough, but it won't do when it's done. So again, some more dots on these corners, and my construction glue. And then we can pop that on. Just get that into place. Just want these dots to give us a little bit of time. Now it doesn't really matter what it looks like here because that's going to be hidden, so what I'm looking at really is on my borders, and you know I'm going to fuss over them a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's one. So I'm not going to put this bit on first because I want to put those on more or less at the same time so that I can adjust them together. So I did the same on the other side. So let's just give that another little burnish down. Give that one burnish down as well. Squash the glue out there. Okay, so I just squashed the cardstock down there, and I'm hoping, what was the silly thing to do? Okay. I'm going to hide that with the sentiment. So, okay, let's go back. Let's get this done. So I forget the paper is a bit more delicate than the cardstock sometimes. Okay, so we're going to pop that down, put that in. Just get our edges lined up. And the benefit I have of using this all-purpose glue, not all-purpose glue, construction glue even, is that it just gives me, it just float. It should have just, well, 99% of the time it does float until I'm happy where I want that to be. The only exception being if the dots are a little bit overzealous, then sometimes they do glue down, but they do come up really easily, so you do get that nice bit of wiggle room time with both of them really. There we go, I'm happy with that. Okay, so the next bit is to bring these in. And I think what I'm going to do is just use the construction glue on these. Just being aware it does take a little bit longer to dry, but I just think if I get dots stuck to that paper, it's going to be wanting to bring that paper up as well. Plus I'm going to get a longer amount of time to just fiddle with this if I just use that construction glue. Okay, so there's one. Give me to pick up those again. So I'm just going to bring that round. Like I say, all of that workings is all going to be hidden underneath, but you can see why I just waited so I could get those lined up perfectly on there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just give that 5 minutes to glue down. Okay, so I'm confident that they're not moving anymore, so we can pop that to the side. Now I'm going to bring in my little lady on her horse. I've got a silver mirror mat, so this was I think it's 4.2 or 4 and 2 notches by 2 notches under the 6. So I did a mat that was 2 notches bigger, so it's 4 1/4 by 6, and then I just went 1/4 of an inch bigger, so this is 6 1/4 by 4 1/2, and then I just added another 2 notches on in the silver to bring that back up to the to keep that mat the same. is what I'm trying to say there. So let's come in. We're gonna start laying these on. Now, I wanted to make sure that, what am I trying to say? So when I put this in, I want to make sure I've got wiggle room on it, because obviously it needs to be almost perfectly in that center is ideal. So let's just, dots are very grabby today. Just take a little bit off this silver mat because it just looks a little bigger on one side. Just check that one's okay. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, what I'm going to do is just grab a little guillotine. Just some reason, maybe I went a little wider on that mat, so I'm just going to do it by eye. Just take that little bit off. Okay. So now that is 6 1/4 plus 2 notches. Okay. Actually, I'm going to put some dots on here. Let's just go a little easy with those dots, seeing as they can seem to be very keen today. So, down. That's good, give it a good press down. And what I am going to do is just lift this up slightly from that backing piece. So I'm just going to use a 2mm, some 2mm foam strips. So nice and easy to put these. So I'm not going to go 2mm, I'm just going to go with a 3. Just to give it a little bit of height away from that blue. So I'm going to pop that off. There. Down. The paper's still there, I can feel it. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pop some all-purpose on there. And then we're going to pop her in her frame. That looks good. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is just use construction glue on this piece. And I'm going to bring it in the middle. Bring her down just a little bit. There we go, just make sure that's nice and straight on the inside. I'm happy with that. Now these I've already just put a load of 1mm foam pads on. So just going to bring this horse up first of all. Oops. And some of these little ones are just chopped in half for the leg, just for a bit of support on those little bits. I have to order some more of these. just for the GT videos, so I used the other ones just because I got more of them, to be honest. Okay, nearly there, just 2 more. Like I said, I did put loads on. And this one, rather than using that construction glue, I'm just going to pop a little bit of this glue pen. I'm just being careful not to saturate it. That hasn't got the back off. That's that one. Because if you saturate it, the paper may still bubble underneath. So if it does come out in a blob, what I'm doing is just spreading it onto the next one. But you can be quite detailed with it. There we go, I think that should be okay. I'm going to pick her up, move it around just because I picked it up with my tweezers this way. And then we're going to get that into place. Now if I turn that around the right way, I should be able to see if that's not quite right in anywhere, but I think that's good. I'm happy with that. She does look pretty cute there. She's got a little thumb on her lasso. And is this type of pony a Palomino? Is that the type of pony they've done? I think they're the ones with the spots, aren't they? I'm not sure. I know, I'm thinking is Appaloosa or horse as well. Could be, could be. Okay, so I'm going to do the same again. Oops, let's see. Pressed a little bit hard there because it's a fresh one. It's a bit keen. But like I say, I can just pick that back up onto the nib and move that over. Pick that up that way. She's pretty much going to be the right way. So if I match up her hat and a little arm, I can come in. Just squidge her over. There she is. There she is. Okay, so that is that bit of decoupage. Okay, so now I'm going to come to the front, and I've got my little sentiment from the 2024 little book of sentiments, and this one was perfect because it says to a dazzling daughter. Now I've got 3 areas on this card that potentially I want to hide. So I've got sort of 3 creases where I did that fold stupidly on the paper. And there's also a little bit of glue spilled out here over onto the silver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these to hide. I'm going to use this sentiment to hide some of it. And I've also used the straight edge star. Straight edge nesting die star, and I've used number 9, and I've cut some little silver stars out. And then what I've done with them, once I've cut them out painstakingly, I've used my little dotty dots from magazine 81. And what I did, so here they are, I wanted them debossed. So I put them with the white side up, and I just used a bit of tape to secure them into the middle of these little bubbles. And what I've got, if I show you, looks like, and I know maybe you probably wouldn't want this on a kiddie's card, but it kind of looks a bit like bullet holes, you know, like dents, like, you know, it's been well used sort of thing. So I've got 4 of them, but I'm probably just going to use 3. So let's grab these off here. Again, I'm going to use this because that seemed to work really well with that decoupage. So again, I don't want it too sloppy. So I'm hoping to cover up 2 of these. So I don't mind if it goes off the card a little bit, but there we go, there's 1. And then these ones again, and these are about 2mm foam pads. So I'm just going to grab 1 and 2. I'll just press that down so it sticks a bit better. There we go. And I'm going to use some of this. Again, I'm going to use, let's go for this one first of all, so we'll pop that one there. I think I'm going to use 3 of them. I was toying with the idea of just using 2 because we've got the big star, but I think I can get away with 3, and then we'll pop some gems on. So I'm going to pop that one there. That's hiding that. And then if I grab another piece of foam pad, and we'll pop one up on that side. Oops. So I'm not to press with that. Okay. And then this one I'm going to pop up here. So now that looks like it's part of the design. We've got those little sheriff badges. There we go, just give this a little press down. And then for gems, I thought I'd use these blues. We could go with pinks, but I think pinks might be a bit much. Let's have a little look. Maybe those pale pinks. These are the pretty pinks in the diamond sparkles. Okay, we'll go with a couple of pretty pinks. Changing my mind as I go. And I'm just going to use 3 of these if I can get them off. So I'm going to go 1. No, the pale ones. Go 2. And then I'm going to go 3. There we go. I think that would, the blues would have been a bit too much. Okay, on this one. Okay, so that is card number 1. So we've got our sort of gatefold with our cutaway leading into our decoupage. A nice big card, 8 by 6. It's going to stand nice on the shelf. And we've hidden all, no, she says, let's just move that down a little bit. We've hidden all of our little boo-boos. So I am happy with that. But that is card number 1. And I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for the second card, I decided to go with my little simple stepper. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of Ink Me card, I've cut it to 6 by 12. I've cut 1 inch in here and here from the 1 inch to the 7 inch. Scored across the 6. Scored on these outside edges at 1, 2 and 7. There is a template on my Facebook, Pinterest and on YouTube as well for that if you wanted to see that. So I've done a few layers. So these layers here are all, well, this is 1 by 6. So I've taken 2 notches off 2 of the sides for the gold. I've then taken it down to 3/4 of an inch by 5 3/4 with this teal. It's the same teal colour that I used on that previous card. And then I've debossed that again. I'm slightly obsessed with the debossing on that folder at the moment. I love it. I have to be honest. It's one of my favourites, and it's one that I've used a lot. So you'll have seen it a lot on the videos lately. But debossed, it's really cute as well as embossed. And then I've got these 2 pieces here are 1 by 5. So I've taken 2 notches off 2 of the sides for the gold. And then it's 3/4 by 4 3/4 for this foiled cardstock, which came from the Special Days Edge to Edge foil kit, I believe. It was with the toppers, the Hunkydory Humour toppers. That's where that came from. And then for the centre one, rather than doing a 3 by 4 piece, what I've got is a piece that is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, so it's going to get the length of the whole card. And then I've just trimmed this up to fit that. Okay, so that, sorry, that won't be 3 3/4, that will be 2 notches under the 6 and 2 notches under the 4, sorry. And then that is going to be 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then I have taken these mini straight edge nesting dies ovals, and I've cut a piece just randomly across his body. And I think this was number, I've got a feeling it was number 5 or 6. And then from the same die, I've cut from another page and cut it going that way. So what I'm going to do, and what I should have done beforehand, I did all the other bits, is I'm just going to take some 1mm foam pads on here. Just pop some all over. And then what I'll do is I'll wait with that second piece, because I'm going to put some 1s and some 2s on there. Okay, so let's get started with that. Oh, the other thing I have done as well, just to let you know, I've used those new birthday sentiments, not birthday sentiments, the new essential vertical sentiments. And this time I've cut the back in from the happy birthday, and I've cut the happy birthday. And I've also cut some more of those stars, the same star that I used in that previous card. This time what I've done is, when I've cut it out, I've just got my mat from my embossing folder, no, not my embossing folder, my die cutting machine, and I've just used a larger ball tool. I've just rolled that around in the middle, so I've got like a little concave sort of arched sort of star, a bit like the sheriff badges look. And then I've just popped a 1mm pad behind that. Oh, and the happy birthday is cut out of that teal as well, just to tie it all together. Okay, so let's come in and get these all assembled. So let's start with the bottom piece. So I'm going to use some of those dots again and that construction glue. And just get those dots just grabbing. I'm just going to be slightly careful because I've got some glue on there and I don't want that to travel. Let's just wipe that off on my jeans. Best thing about wearing jeans. And then I'm going to come in with this next one. This is the one that I embossed, that beautiful teal. And you're not going to see a lot of this, to be honest, because that topper is going to come down the top. So we go down. There we go, I've got that layer there. Okay, so now I can come round to these cute little arms, as I call them. Okay. And there's one more little book to show you. So that one I will be bringing you next. Again, I'll probably bring in those adorable Scorable frames, and also maybe even those sentiments. So when you're doing these arms, what I would suggest is line it up with the top. I mean, obviously if you can line it up everywhere, but if you've got a choice, then line it up at the top, because the bottom won't be seen when the card is up, and nobody's going to flatten your card out to have a look at it. So let's just pop that one on. There. You can see that is looking quite nice at the moment. The border could just go over just a tad. Look at me fussing again, sorry guys. Okay, probably exactly the same place as it was before, but anyway. Right, so let's do our little horsey. Let's get him. Oh, it's got a pink bridle on, so let's call her her. Let's get her on her backing. Just going over just a little tad. Happy with it. Okay. And then what I can do is just same again, same. Let's pop that on. I'm not lifting it up, I'm just putting this one on quite flat. Very flat. Going to pop straight on there and come all the way across. So even you could just leave it at that, sentiment done, job done, but we are going to go just a little bit further. So let's pop these backs off these 1mm foam pads. And then I'll get the little hoover out later. Again, I'm going to use this. So this seems to be the best way of doing that. Let's grab my little tweezers. And then we're just going to match up his little bridle, his nose and his tail. And what I can do is just lift that up, give it a little squidge down if it needs it. I think we're happy with that. Now, because this is going to come over the top, anything below here needs to be 1mm. So just because that's already going to be on top of that other piece. So I'm just going to put 3 there, and then above it I'm going to use these ones. So scissors. 1, 2, 3, rather than waste it. Now if I pop this on whereabouts we think it needs to go, let's just bring that in. Just going to take a little bit off the bottom there and a little bit off the bottom there. I think that should be perfect. Obviously we will get this into place once we've got the glue on, but I just want to make sure that's quite nicely supported. Oh, that seems to be okay. So now we can take these backs off, put the glue on. You'll have to let me know whether you prefer the videos where I cut the bits out as I go, sort of crafting along with you, or whether you prefer these videos where a lot of the work's been done beforehand, so you're just really seeing the assembly and the end result. I'm still gonna, I'll be honest, I'm still gonna be, for these design team ones, for these new releases, sort of sneak peek videos, I'm probably still gonna do them in this style, because I don't want them to be too long, because it's a lot of work to keep up with the other videos that I do, and these sneak peeks. So I'm not complaining, I'm enjoying it, but it's just a quicker video is better for me to do that way. But there we go, so we've got a sort of different bit of decoupage on it, just for a bit of interest. I did try putting some gold behind it and I didn't really like the effect. I preferred it like this, so you could see the whole image, but that is the way that I decided to go. So for these ones, so for the birthday, I'm going to use my dotted tape runner. I've already put a 2mm foam pad on the back. Let's put it the right way around. That would be super helpful. There we go, so we've got our birthday and our happy. Now I haven't worked out whether I want these both on one side or whether I want to, that's completely on the wonk, whether I want them both on one side or whether I want them to be one on each side. Maybe we could go like so, and then we could bring in, these are not hiding anything this time. Yeah, we'll pop those on there. Yeah, so these are just those little stars. I'd already just, when I was thinking of the card, that was what I wanted to do with them. I'm kind of thinking share of stars. I was thinking about seeing if I had a star big enough to do a star card, but I didn't think it was big enough, and I didn't really want to cut the image down so you didn't really recognise what it was. A few different designs actually before I'd come up with these. I know this is my stepper card, I do this a lot, but it is my favourite card, so you'll have to forgive me. Now these ones, because I'm just going to pop them straight on, I'm not even going to put any glue on the back of there, just going to pop them straight on. And then this one I might even bring over the image a little bit. There we go. And then gems, I'm thinking maybe a hot pink, or we could go with those teals, but I'm thinking a hot pink from that teal would probably be quite cool. Or we could bring two in on there. Let's do that. Two there. Oh, one. There. Okay, and that's that cute little card finished. So let's just show you that. So we've got those vertical, is it vertical? Yeah, it is vertical sentiments there. A little bit of decoupage in, just slightly different style for me. Makes the pony look a bit fat, to be fair. But it does look like it's a chubby pony. But that is card number 2. Let me bring back that card number 1. That is card number 1. Like I say, there is another book to come, So I will be doing another sneak peek with that one. But for now, thank you for watching, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye.